Hey everybody, welcome back to Alex Radioactive YouTube channel. As you know, I am Alex Radioactive, and I have some news, some kind of planned, some unplanned news. So, as you could probably see from the title of this video, we're going to talk about all the cons that I'm going to this year. I'm actually going to a lot of cons. Well, it sounds like a lot of cons, and it is a lot of cons. But what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of these cons I go to them because they're close to where I live, so I'm not out of a lot of money. And when I go to cons, I stay very cheap. I don't go into dealers didn't spend lots of money and all that. I normally just pay my admission and my hotel, and that's it. But anyways, we'll talk about that later on, or in this video, or maybe another video. But as of now, here are the cons that I'm going to in 2020. This is subject to change at any time, but I am going to GFM, which is Gateway for Meat, which is a smaller con in St. Louis, Missouri. I really like this con. I actually part of the team for this con. I actually work for this con, and I'm not just like a volunteer. I actually work for the team, and I get along with a lot of the people I work with. They are awesome people. I also am one of the hosts for the Baby Fur panel here. Um, this year, it may just be me hosting the Baby Fur panel there because the other person may not be going this year. It's still up in the air, but it's a great con. It is a smaller con, and I do recommend going to smaller cons, definitely because I enjoy the cons like MFF and Anthrocon, but they're very big. And sometimes it just wears me out. Sometimes going to a nice con, just having fun and relaxing is fun too. And I always tell people to volunteer for cons. So I'm not going to say there's perks to volunteering other than you just feel good about yourself, but there are some cons that may have certain perks or discounts. I can't say for sure on what cons do and don't have. For me, I don't necessarily go for the perks. I volunteer, or I don't do it for the perks. I do it because I like helping the con grow and I like making sure everybody has fun. But at GFM, which is Gateway Fur Meat, is a wonderful con, and I do recommend if you're ever in the St. Louis area when that con is going on, definitely check it out. It is, like I said, it's a smaller con. I think last year we had around 1,400 people there. I don't hold me to these numbers. I'd have to double check, but it's a really great con, and the hotel is wonderful and all that. Now, that's my first big, well, not big con, but that's probably my next con I'm going to. And there are a few other cons that are not going to be in this list that I may attend. It just depends on circumstance. Now, another con I'm going to, which actually happened today out of the blue. I mean, literally, this con only happened because of a small mistake I made that now led into this con being a thing. But it's a good thing because there's a good chance my husband could be there and plans that we had for this con would actually still fall into place and we'd still be able to do. And that con is Anthrocon. Yep, I have a room already booked for Anthrocon. And I was very hesitant to tell people that I'm going to Anthrocon because there was a good chance I may not make it. But I'm pretty positive at this point. I got my hotel, talked to my husband. He's excited because he's probably going to go, and we'll probably still, if we can make it there and I can still get a hold of the venue that I was going to rent to do our wedding, we'll probably still get married while we're there. So that can finally be done and over with and not have to wait until 2021. So I will be at Anthrocon 2020. I'm really looking forward to that. And my wedding is not part of the con. So if we actually get married up there, it's not part of the con before someone runs off and tells them, their people that, oh, I'm planning on getting married. No, it has nothing to do with the con. It's actually not even on the con property or con space. I'm not going to say where we're getting married because I don't want a whole bunch of people to go book this because it's something I found and I'm keeping it a secret till it gets closer to time and I know we get it. So far we talked about Gateway for Me and Anthrocon. Anthrocon is actually a fun con for me. I actually do not volunteer. I do not help in any way with Anthrocon. It's nothing against Anthrocon. It's just if I'm traveling that far, because that is my con, that is the farthest from my house that I travel to. I'm going to have fun and probably not work. But not saying I'll never volunteer. There's always the chance that I may volunteer. Now, another great con that I'm going to be going to this year, and last year was the first time in a long time that I had went there, and that would be Indy Furcon. So, or I think it was Indy. I don't know if I've ever been to Indy before last year. I'm pretty sure I have, but it was years and years ago that, and there's a lot of things from years and years ago I don't remember. But Indy FurCon is another con that I actually plan on re-attending. Last year I had such a blast, and it's another one kind of like Gateway for me. It's a much smaller con, and it's still got a lot of fun stuff. Granted, I did make one small mistake at IFC, and that was I did not go to any panels. I didn't even go to any dances. I mean, really, I just kind of hung out in the lobby and hung out with a lot of awesome furs, met some people, even talked to some guys that were down for a gun show, and we talked, and they love guns, and I love guns, and we had a great, good old gun time. But apparently, there was a gun show going on down there, and if I'd have known it, I would have probably got a hold of the event coordinators for the gun show and see if I could have went in fursuit and had a blast. But even if I couldn't, I probably still went because I like guns. Oh, it was fun. So as of right now, we're going to Gateway Fur Meet, AnswerCon, and IFC. Another con that I will obviously be at because, well, I have to. It's another con I volunteer for. Now, this con, I am not staff. I'm not anything more than a volunteer. I'm not going to say what department I work for this con, but and that's MFF. Yep, I'll be at MFF 2020. I do volunteer for this con. I really love this con. It is a home con. And what I mean by a home con is it's a con that I can drive to and go to relatively cheap. And cheap is always a good thing. Um, so I will be at MFF again this year. Obviously, we plan to do another baby fur panel, and hopefully this year we get a bigger room. We keep running out of space. But huh, I made a joke there, but we won't talk about that. But anyways, I will be at MFF again. So I do look forward to seeing a lot of you there. So we're going to be at MFF 2020, IFC 2020, Anthrocon 2020, Gateway Fur Meet. Oh, Anime St. Louis. It's not really a furry convention, but there is a lot of us local furs that actually go to Anime St. Louis. That's another con. It's not really huge. It's not really small, but I enjoy going and meeting a lot of the fellow anime people. Now I go there. I take my fursuit, obviously, but this year I may not be taking a fursuit. But there's other reasons why, and I'm not going to say because a good friend of mine is a well-known cosplayer who goes to bigger uh, events like Comic Con and all this, and they've actually done really well in winning things because of their cosplays. Well, they have this wonderful cosplay that I have asked them if I could borrow this year for Anime St. Louis. I even offered to buy it off of them if it need be. And they're like, oh, no, you can borrow it. We're never going to sell it because this is one of our favorites. But yeah, you could borrow it. I trust you. I know you'll take care of it. So it's like really awesome to get to wear this cosplay because this is one of my, out of everything I'm a fan of, this is like, this cosplay is one of my favorites I've ever seen because it's not really it's not really a cosplay as much as it is a something that goes along with what I like. I don't want to give it away because I got a video planned for that, but it's going to be a unique experience for me because I get to wear something I really like, and I never thought it was going to happen. But thanks to some of you subscribers, because it's actually a subscriber of mine that has this that's going to let me use it, which is awesome. Uh, I'm really excited. I'm like a little kid in a toy store. But I told him I'd take care of it. And if I damaged anything, I would pay to fix it. All good stuff. So there's another con I'm going to. Now, here's an iffy one. It's Furry Weekend in Atlanta. I was invited to go with a friend. I really want to go, but it's really close. So it all depends on finances because a lot of these cons I go to, I don't spend a lot of money at them. It's not because I don't want to spend money. It's just I got to stay on budget to make sure I can go to another con. That's how I get content for you guys. But it's also how I meet a lot of other baby furs and get them in contact with other baby furs and all that. First Squared was another con that recently I was talking about how I was excited to go. Unfortunately, things have kind of fell apart on that. I am actually now not going. And I want to thank Citrine and Gracie both so much for allowing me to room with them. But it's also the same week that my husband's mom's birthday is, and we are actually traveling to go see them that weekend. And I didn't know it. My husband didn't know it. So we were both making these plans. We were talking, communicating about our plans, but neither one of us ever talked about the dates of our plans. And they both happened on the same weekend. So it was Furcon, going to see husband's family for his mom's birthday. And I'm sorry this one won because family to me is more important than anything on earth. And if I ever meet one of you guys and I call you, I say we're not friends, don't ever take that as I don't want to be your friend. It's not that. When I say we're not friends, we're family, that means more to me than friends. To me, my family is not blood. Some of you guys know I've had a very bad history with my family. We don't talk like we should. We have started talking in the last few years and getting closer together because I actually did a video about a year ago of me calling my mom and telling her I was a furry over the phone. It was funny. But we still haven't quite got over the past like bad blood between us, but we're getting there. And I always tell people if you have bad blood with your biological family, do everything you can to make up for that. Because due to bad blood in my family, between my family and my father, there was a long time I didn't even know my father was alive. And when he finally came back into my life, he was only in my life for like 6 months before he passed away. And that really hurt me a lot. And that's why I always tell people try to make up for whatever it is, even if it's not your fault. Family means everything to me. And me and my family aren't very close, but we're still trying to work on that. So to me, when I don't like having friends because friends never stay. Friends come and go, but families forever. So if I say you're part of my family, that means I like you enough that I don't want you to ever leave me. Even if the worst was to happen, you would still be in my heart. You're my family. So that's what I mean by that. It's nothing, personal or anything like that. So, I was really bummed about not going to First Squared, but things happen. I got to go to this thing with my husband. If anything changed and we didn't go, it would be yes, I'm going to First Squared, but unfortunately, I can't do it. So, as of right now, I have rooms booked for both GFM and Anthrocon. However, my room for GFM is actually currently booked solid. I got maximum people I'm going to allow to stay with me. Anthrocon, I don't have anybody staying with me yet. I'm not looking right now because I'm waiting till we get closer to time that I make sure everything's kind of falling in place to see who's going with from out of my household. Like, is Frisky going? Is my husband going? But I don't want to say they're going and then they not go and then I'm looking for roommates. So until we know for sure who's going, who's not, that kind of thing. So if you have another con that you would love to see me at or you want me to come to, always message me and say, hey, this con is here. Try to give me at least 3 to 6 months in advance. But tell me about these cons that you guys go to you'd like to see me come to, because I would like to come to them. I just got to know about them for one. And for two, I got to be able to see if I can plan for them. I may say, well, I can't go this year, but next year, instead of going to this con, I'll come to that one and check it out. Because I like seeing new cons, meeting new people. Meeting people is the only way you connect. Because I've been in this fandom since 1997. And I have met thousands of furs. And there's a lot of furs that, they come, they go, things happen. Some people don't stay in the fandom and some do. And I try to meet all you guys, not because I want to be popular or any of that. I like meeting people and getting to know who they are, because in the furry fandom, we have our personas, what we want everybody to see us as. But I also like meeting people and getting to know who they are without the fursuit. Because when I meet you as a fursuit, that's what you're portraying you want to be. And I want to know what you are, not only as what you want to be known as, but I also want to know the true you. Like if you're shy, or if you're like me, I'm a person with a background in law enforcement and not really law enforcement. I worked for a jail. It's kind of law enforcement, but to me, I don't count it that. But one of my friends actually does count as law enforcement, and he's a cop. So it's like, but I have a background in there. I also have a background in fire as well as some medical. So I always find it unique to meet people in their trade. Like um, at a oh shoot, and I can think here. At MFF last year, I met a person who was a pilot. I also met a person who works with Lamborghinis, and for those that don't know, Lamborghini is one of my favorite cars. Not because it's a high-end, expensive car. The Lamborghini Gallardo back in 2011, or no, take it back, 2009, 2010, I had the chance to drive a Lamborghini Gallardo both of those years, and I fell in love with this car. And to me, everybody's like, "Oh, that's an expensive car. You'll never have the money for that." Well, a Lamborghini Gallardo is around $102,000. So, if you look at what cars prices are now, a used Lamborghini Gallardo is really not that much more expensive. I mean, it's like you buy this car and you don't buy another car for 10 years because it takes two sets of 5 years of payments to pay for it. But it's reachable, and anything's reachable as long as you work to it. So, um, yeah. So that's way off topic. I don't know how I got on the topic, but I love cars. But just so you guys know, those are the cons I'm going to. Don't forget, we're having a giveaway. And we also have a challenge going. If we can get 30 Patreon subscribers by the 10th of February, I'm going to pick one of you guys to suggest a video. This can be anything from me eating vegetables, yucky, or doing some kind of weird stunt or whatever. And I'm going to do it's got to be something I can do live. It has to, it has to meet all legal aspects. So sorry, me using a diaper is not going to meet those standards, which I wouldn't personally be comfortable doing with anyways. So I do look forward to seeing those suggestions when we get to that point. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to take everybody's suggestions, write it on a piece of paper. Well, I'm going to write them out on a piece of paper and number them, and then I'm going to put the numbered piece of papers in a bag and draw a number. Then we'll pull the list up and we'll see who wins. And this can be anything, any suggestions that are legal and something I can do that won't harm me or the suit. However, the fursuit may be sold. Yeah, my current fursuit, the one I'm wearing right now, may be sold. And if a person that might be buying it buys it, they will be taking ownership of it mid February, which they already told me if they do buy it, I can still use it up until shipping date for videos because they're actually another close friend. So there's a chance that this suit may be sold, but we won't know until tomorrow. So tomorrow's video may have that. But that's where we're at, guys. I do want to say I love you all. Have a wonderful night. Try to stay warm if it's cold where you are. Try to stay cool if it's hot where you're at. And don't forget to change those stinky diapers because we all know you guys have stinky butts. Yep. Have a wonderful night, guys. Bye-bye.